I really do think Ancestry.com or whatever, that entire company needs to be disbanded because it's making people think they're all different types of races because you got trinkles of blood and certain things. Listen, and we're going to talk about all these things. I really did not want to watch this season of Love is Blind because to me, Love is Blind has made it clear that they're all about the drama and not about the love. I mean, of course, the whole point is to match couples together and then, they end up falling in love. But the problem is with a lot of these seasons is that, there's so much behind the scenes drama. There's so much things that happen and we're just watching just a facade, just like a fictional TV show on screen. So it's really weird. It's really weird watching it. And if you're an avid, TikToker or TikTok watcher as much as I am, I know a lot of the stuff that's been said, but I've done a really good job in blocking myself and hearing what is going on, what has been said about certain people and certain couples throughout the entire season because I want to see what actually happens. I don't want to be tainted, but my sister kind of bullied me into watching this season. She's saying that it's really, really good. And I just think that a lot of the couples are really predictable. We are going to start off with the Angel Brittany and the art dealer Leo. I think on TikTok, and I won't bring a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on TikTok on social media, but only for a few things that are really, really well known. The art dealer for Leo, saying that, oh my God, he really didn't talk about wealth in the pods, even though that's all he talked about in his confessionals, in his interviews about, the type of woman that he wants to have, which is, I want a woman who is not into my wealth. Like, I'm a wealthy art dealer. I inherited all this wealth, blah, 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 blah. We get it. You're wealthy. But he was describing a woman that was exactly like, he was describing a woman that was opposite of Brittany, even though he chose Brittany. And I don't really think he chose Brittany. I think Brittany chose him. Obviously, it was quite clear. And even then, Brittany didn't really choose him. Obviously, it's quite clear that Leo was not certain on the type of woman he wanted to choose in the pod. He had two options. And he ended up, being like, Brittany, hey girl, you're the last one standing. Do you want to choose me? And it was, I don't know if people are saying that he really wanted to be in the show. I wouldn't say that. I would say that he really wanted to find his wife, but I do think the pod is not enough time for you to do that. Obviously, it's basically an experiment. And so because it's an experiment, you really have to be certain on your feelings about certain people and really focus on how you're feeling, how this person is going to, add value to my life and be a great addition to my life, and how, what our future will look like moving forward. So Leo was having a hard time figuring out which girl he wanted. Brittany wanted Leo, even though it's quite clear that Brittany was settling with Leo, and I think Brittany had no other options but to settle with Leo. And I'm so happy that she didn't say I love you. It's kind of clear that she really didn't love him. I think she really resented him because of how he treated her. I think he kind of, little comments that he would make throughout, the time in the pod is like, oh, people think you're really dumb, but I think you're really smart, even though that was kind of condescending. That's a backhanded way of saying you're dumb, but I think even though you're dumb, don't worry, I think you're smart. I think that's really weird. Like, some of the compliments he would say to Leo, to Brittany, was just really rude and condescending and a bit demeaning. And so I can tell that Brittany was physically feeling that. She was getting upset because she didn't really feel safe with Leo, and she had no choice but to pick him because that was the only guy that was into her. So that's Brittany and Leo. Am I sad that they're not part of the show? No. My opinion is they're probably not part of the show because they ended up not getting married and they're going to just end up dating. So what's the point of you being in the show if you know for a fact you're not going to get married? People are like, oh, they should have stayed in the show because, it added more drama. No. If they were in it, I probably would have tapped out. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. So the other guy, the other girl that Leo was contemplating with being with was Hannah. It was entirely cringe, to see Hannah and Leo break off in the way that they did. And before we move on, I want to say that I'm doing my small content creator job by saying that if you like what you're hearing, or it's your second time or your first time, please don't. Oh my God, I can't talk today, guys. That's how much I don't like that season of Love is Blind. Please don't forget to hit subscribe, like, comment. There's a hype thing now. I don't know, but please do those things. Turn off your notifications. I post multiple times a week. So moving on. Hannah and Nick. So for Hannah, I do think that Hannah had a hard time cutting off with Leo because she couldn't believe that a man was so over heels with her. And she has a lot of insecurities, which is quite common, but we don't see it on the national TV for millions of people to watch. And so it was really weird watching Hannah be physically upset when Leo's constantly asking her questions. Yes, Leo was being quite manipulative with Hannah and be like, "Oh, you really don't want to break things off. Like, what if I propose to you now, but you're not proposing to her now? Like, you don't like her. You yourself don't know what to choose. So therefore, you want to make sure that the two girls that you are in between with are still into you, because you still want to take your damn good time figuring it out." And this TV show is not the place for you to do that. And Hannah just felt like she was trapped within a rock and a hard place. Well, all she had to do was, "Leo, I don't like you. I'm sorry. Have a good day." And so she's like, "I don't like how I feel." Well, you could walk away, Hannah. That entire scene was really weird. It was really weird because she could have walked away. Like, no one's forcing you to sit here and listen to this man. This man, to me, is a manipulator. He's a gaslighter. The woman that Leo described that he wanted to be with is the opposite of Brittany. It is Hannah's personality, but Hannah was not really into Leo. So that was weird. So moving on to Hannah and Nick. So Nick was head over heels with Hannah from the very, 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 very beginning. And Hannah didn't really believe it. And because of her insecurities, she didn't really believe it, because Nick kind of described himself as this footballer, this guy who would, totally, be taller and bigger and all that. And when she saw him, he wasn't all of that. And that's fine. A lot of guys do prop themselves up, and, Nick ends up being he's a very confident guy. So it makes a lot of sense for Nick to describe himself as somebody that he's not. However, that's not the whole point of the experiment. He's supposed to have not talked about his physicality, his physical features, but that's what Hannah now is built up in her mind. And then when she saw him for the first night, she kind of felt disappointed, even though I saw it on her face. I don't know if you guys saw it on her face. I definitely did. So I don't really know for these two, because I don't know where to begin. Hannah and Nick are not good for each other. I don't think Nick is physically attracted to Hannah, and I don't think Hannah is physically attracted to Nick for different reasons. Hannah keeps saying that I'm in love with him, I'm in love with him, and Nick keeps saying that I'm in love with her, I'm in love with her, I'm in love with her. Now, Nick is a person who has certain insecurities. Now, Hannah doesn't like Nick's character and personality, in my opinion. She wants a man who's a bit more macho, more type A, more manly. And even though Nick is like that, Nick is a different type of that version of a guy, right? So, and Nick's personality is a bit more playful and a bit more, basically a bit more playful and a bit more immature, but not immature. I mean, it comes off of immature to Hannah. Therefore, Hannah thinks that he's a boy, and I think Hannah treats him like a boy, and that's why she makes these off remarks to him. And she did that 10-point thing, click off the attributes that you think you have right now. And she is really hard on him. And I also do think she's really hard on herself. So because of that, Nick feels like there is a standard that he has to meet to please Hannah. And to me, it's nearly impossible nobody can change a man, nobody can change a person. You are who you are. And Hannah is now realizing that. So Hannah realizes that, and then she realizes that she feels that she needs to be the pants in the relationship. Listen, I think when it comes to being their pants in certain relationships, you can be in pants in certain aspects of the relationship. So one person could be dominant in the finances, or one person could be dominant in the kitchen, or it could be 50-50 or 60-40, whatever it is. You don't necessarily want, a person doesn't necessarily have to wear the pants in the relationship. Hannah, when it comes to Nick, feels like she needs to do that. When she cooks, she doesn't need any help. When it comes to the finances, mending the finances, creating a new bank account, adding each other to car insurance and things like that, she needs everything planned out and needs a decision right there and then. And Nick is like, well, give me some time to think about it. I don't have a decision for you right now. And Hannah's like, well, I've made it. I can make it up for us. I need to know when you're going to take out the trash. I need to know when you're going to clean the kitchen. I need to know. And it's a bit too overpowering. And I do feel like Nick feels like he feels emasculated a little bit. And so he feels like there's no place in Hannah's life because it feels like she has it all figured out. And Hannah, she is a woman. She knows what she wants. And she says in the pause that she wants a man to really be there and support her and to take the lead. But she doesn't really give that chance to Nick to take the lead. Like, even when she was making pasta, she cut up the veggies, and now she's making the sauce. She goes, hey, I got dinner. Don't you worry. And Nick goes, no, I want to help. Like, give me something to help. And Hannah goes, oh, you can just make the pasta. There you go. Nick goes, no, give me something else. I want to make dinner with you. Like, I want to create this moment with you. And Hannah's like, no, just make the pasta. I got this. We're good. So I don't think they're compatible, is basically what I'm trying to say. They could have chemistry, and I do think that's why I think they're best friends, but I don't think they are compatible. There's so much going on in their relationship. And again, I don't think Nick is physically attracted to Hannah's. And I don't know if they're still together. However, one thing that is quite known on social media, Hannah has lost tremendous amounts of weight. I know before she came on the show, she lost 45 pounds, and she lost a tremendous amount of weight even after the show. There's a lot of TikToks of her on the show, and she looks like she went through a weight loss journey. Even in the Netflix show, she was going through a weight loss journey. And so I think she's at the end of her weight loss journey because she lost considerable amounts of weight. So I don't know. I don't know if Hannah and Nick are still together. I don't know if they say yes, but what I do know is that I really hope they're Gucci, and I really don't want them to say yes, in my opinion. They shouldn't say yes. I think they should date and then marry eventually if they still want to be together. People are saying that Hannah should not have gotten on the show if she's in the middle of like her weight loss journey, because she was going through so much insecurities about herself and her body. I get that, but I think it's really normal. And I think it's really normal for us to see women who are going through insecurities, not at that level. She was going through so much insecurities, but I think it's healthy for us to see that women do have insecurities, that women are not perfect, and in all aspects of life we're not confident. There are areas in which we feel kind of off with certain things, but I did feel like at times Hannah was preventing herself with being with Nick or any of her partners because of her insecurities, and her insecurities ended up being kind of like a roadblock to getting what she wants in life, which is her dream man, her husband. Okay, so Alexander and Tim. So we got I call her like the Nation of Islam girl, but her name is Alex. I think her grandfather worked in the Nation of Islam organization. And then you have Tim. I forgot what he actually does. I think Alex is actually a content manager, whatever that is. And I think social media manager, basically. I honestly do think they are suited. I just don't. The way they pick on each other is too much. You know, they push each other's buttons and they go to, it comes to a point where it also becomes cringe, because how are you saying this to the man that you're going to marry and they go, oh, you know, I love picking on you. And she goes, yeah, I know. She smiles like, no, it's weird. Like, stop picking on me. Why do you need to pick on me? And he goes, oh, I can pick on her. And then she's really good at pushing back. But that kind of builds resentment too, because like, doesn't like the picking on each other and making fun of each other and certain things and making all these sly jokes kind of rude and mean? I don't know. But I did tell myself that this picking each other that they're doing will bite there in the bum. And guess what it did? Another reason why I don't like the season of Love is Blind, despite the fact that it's, again, tons of drama with some of the characters outside of the show, is the fact that a lot of the critical scenes, a lot of the critical incidents that happen in this season, we don't see it. So for some reason, we're able to see the couples almost doing romantic relations on the bed, sex on the bed. But we can't see the fight that Tim and Alex had when Tim had to literally go sleep in a different hotel room. I don't really understand that. Okay, so the fight was, Alex was feeling really homesick. They had, you know, a gathering with the other couples. They come back to their hotel room. Alex becomes really quiet because she said because really homesick. She doesn't really communicate with Tim, which really triggers him, it looks like, a lot, which I'll talk about. To the point where Tim keeps, you know, asking her, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? It gets to the point where it bothers her, and then she covers his mouth. And then she was in his face, and then he just leaves the situation and goes to a different room. Now, we don't really know what happened, but that's basically how they described the incident on the sofa bed the next morning. The sofa or the couch, that's kind of how I took from it. The way this man was so visibly upset to how Alex covered his mouth was so concerning to me. He was so triggered with the fact that Alex covered his mouth. Now, Alex, the fact that she covered his mouth was wrong. But how can you be that triggered with that? You know what I mean? Yes, it's unconsensual touching. But it felt like something really terrible happened to him in that moment or last night that they're not saying, because the way he was visibly upset, I was like, what in the world happened? You're visibly upset like this because she covered your mouth? I still do not understand. And that's where you leave the viewers going, we need to see what actually happened. You know what I mean? And I'm sure, and if things did cross boundaries and things like that, then, you know, like, let us know. But I'm sure Netflix wouldn't show certain scenes that are, you know, triggering and would promote, you know, inappropriate behavior. But at the same time, I don't understand why Tim is so severely triggered by her covering his mouth. I would be hurt. You know, I'd be like, oh, don't do that again. But he's so hurt. Like someone stole his puppy hurt. Like, I don't really, like, something's, like, he's visibly, like, I'm literally so concerned for his well-being. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, what did she do to you? Anyways, so we move on. So they end up staying together. And they're like, okay, let's work on it. And if that's something like that happens, you just, like, tell the guy. You just tell the other partner, hey, I don't like what you did. Don't do that again. If we're going to go through this, then please change this. Because if you do it again, I will leave. It's simple as that. But obviously there's some things that if it happens once, you don't need it to happen a second time. Okay, if it's bad, it's bad. You move on. So, I don't know. And these two, I think they're compatible. And I think they have chemistry. But I think they're too much alike to move forward. They're too much alike. It's a bit weird. I think, not weird, but I do think one of them has to be different for it to be successful, because I think they're too similar. I found it really heartwarming when Alex's father was speaking to Tim, and Tim got Alex's father's permission to marry Alex, and I bawled, I cried. It reminds me of my father. I cried. It was a very heartwarming moment. And so, yeah, so I don't know what happens with these two. Will they get married? I think no. Moving on to the next couple. I call him Mr. Ramses. Ramses and Marissa. Marissa is a ball of sunshine. I love her. I love that girl. She is gorgeous. She is confident. She is smart. She knows what she wants. I love a woman like Marissa. I really do. I love her. Ramses, I don't know. So again, another guy who opens his mouth on national television and says, I don't like having sex with a condom, which makes me think, how have you been having sex your entire life then? If you have been having sex, how have you been having sex your entire life without no condom? And how are you going to force another woman to do something to their body? For a man who seems quite woke and has a very specific moral compass and convictions, forcing a woman to do something they don't want to do because you don't want to do it, feels like it's kind of against you. I don't know. It's kind of against how you've been describing yourself this entire season. So, weird. Also weird, the fact that he doesn't like her. I mean, it's not weird. I respect, actually. He's matching his morality to how he wants to live his life, which a lot of people don't do, which is commendable. Now, my thing is, Marissa is a military girly. She is. She's a military girly. I really do think she is. Now, you know, she was in the military and she freaking loved it. She loved being in the military. Even though she said to you she's not going to be in the military, one can only assume that she probably has a lot of friends from the military if she loved it. Okay? How are you going to come out and say that you hate the military and you're with this girl? She talks about being in the military quite a lot, you know? And the fact that she can drive ships, like she can drive an entire military ship on her own. Badass. I freaking love that. How do you not like that? You know what I mean? And also, how are you with her? You know what I mean? Is it weird that you're telling a woman who made her entire career in the military that if you go in the military again, I will divorce you? It's giving controlling. It's giving toxic masculinity. Like, it's weird. It's weird. And I get it. You know, I'm sure the U.S. military is controversial, like U.S. imperialism. There are some negative things with it. I get that. But why propose to a girl who created their career out of the military if it's something that's really important to you? I don't know. I find it weird. If you add all that together, I'm giving weird. Now, Marissa's mom is a whole lot. The way Marissa's mom be acting on national television, I'm sorry. Like, the things that she says is things you would say maybe to Ramses in private, maybe not on TV. I don't know. Maybe you don't call your daughter the B word. B-I-T-C-H. I don't know. Maybe you need to, say all of that. And the whole prenup thing, to each their own. I think it is important to protect the assets that you bring into a relationship, and especially if you think that the relationship will not last. But why would you go into a relationship that wouldn't last? And that's why people are against prenups, because if you're going to do a prenup, people think that you're going to be out of this relationship. Like you don't have a lot of faith and confidence in this relationship, rather. So I get why people wouldn't want to do prenups, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, prenups can protect certain assets. So to each their own. I mean, I am not against prenups, nor am I for. I'm kind of indifferent. So that's Marissa and Ramses. Do I think they're going to get married? No. I think Marissa is too strong-willed, too confident. She knows what she wants, and I don't think she's going to marry this man. I think they're going to date and they might even be together for a bit, but I don't think they're meant for each other, because I think even though they look alike and even though they have some things in common and they complement each other, when it comes to certain things that Ramses is too stubborn on certain things, and I don't think he's not willing to move, and which kind of trumps a lot of the women's rights to their own body and certain things, and it becomes a bit toxic what Ramses kind of making Maurissa do. So I don't know. So I just think that that's also a doomed relationship. Moving on. Monica and Steven, my favorite couple. Let's clock it. My favorite couple. Oh, sorry. Never mind. No. I'm so sorry. You guys probably think I'm literally so crazy. No. Taylor and Garrett is my favorite couple. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Monica and Steven is probably one of the most toxic. The only way I was able to fast forward. Sorry, the only way I was able to watch this entire season is to fast forward a lot of the bits. I fast forwarded a lot of the bits when it came to their relationship. This one, Monica and Steven. Because Monica doesn't seem like a real person. I'm sorry. You're telling me a man told you that he slid into a woman's DMs because the woman that he was with was too good for him. So he cheated purposely because he was too insecure. Like he was too hard on himself. He wasn't ready for a woman that matched him, that chose him. And you're like, oh my God, I totally get it. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. She's not a real person. Another situation, which made me like, this guy's not serious. This guy's weird. Steven saying in the very beginning that he's like 75% West African, and then the percentage kind of changes throughout the show. Like, I don't know, is he 20%? Like, I don't. Ancestry needs to be disbanded. Listen, I think all of us already know, if we're smart enough, that everybody kind of immigrated from Africa. Everybody was technically quite darker in skin color in the beginning of the earth. I don't think we need to know what y'all come from, in my opinion. Because the way Steven be describing it is just like he's telling us that he's black when you're not. Let me be very clear. What you're describing is ethnicity. So there's race, ethnicity, and nationality. Steven, you're a white man. Optically, that's race. That's what we see. And yes, there are nuanced definitions to race, ethnicity, and nationality. You know, if we can go into it, it's imposed by society, Yes. Definitions can change because it's imposed, it's a made up definition. Yes. But for the basic definition, race, you white. Ethnicity, sure, you're West African and American. And nationality, you're American, that's where you were born. It was really weird, them saying that, oh, of course, his curly hair, and therefore, no. So cringe. As soon as I heard that out of his mouth, I was like, fast forward. Yeah, not serious. As soon as I heard her, I heard her say, oh my God, it's totally fine if you cheat at. Fast forward. You're not serious, woman. I'm sorry. And then later on, she then disclosed she has a kid. You have a kid and you're okay being with a man who cheated? I think cheating is acceptable in certain circumstances. When I mean acceptable, it's understandable. Like I get it. Is it good to do it? No. So I would get why people would cheat, but is it good to do it morally? No, obviously, right? In this case, I don't get why he cheated. You could have just, if the girl's not for you, say, thank you so much for your time. I think it's good that we part ways. Simple. And then slide into the DMs. And then, not only did he do that to a different girl, he did it to Monica in this season. Steven is unemployed. Can one of y'all tell me as to why this man is doing a sleep study? Where he is doing a sleep study? Can anybody in the video, in the comments, in the back. Can anybody in the front? Can anybody tell me why this man? What in the world is sleep study? Are you a grad student looking for $50? Because back in my day, that's how much sleep studies cost. $50 a night. Sleep study. Are you that poor? You going through some hard times. Okay, so let's conclude. You shouldn't be in a sleep study. Okay? When you have a wife at home or a fiance. And then during the sleep study, you're not only texting another girl romantically, you're sexting. You're sexting another woman. And listen, y'all probably like, I didn't see that coming. I saw this coming a mile away. I knew it. Throughout the entire time, Monica was getting the ick from Steven. The way he talks and analyzes. I got the ick from the first. Like, it took me 5 minutes to figure out. Gross. I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But Monica's like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm ethnically, like, I'm racially diverse. He's racially diverse. This is like, so, no. The way he described it was weird. You didn't catch that? So I knew that was going to happen. So when it happened, I'm like, well, thank you for dropping the shoe. Thank you so much. And the way he acted like a psychopath, like with no emotions, he goes, oh, I get it. Like, I can't explain my actions. I get it if you don't want to be with it. And he just got off the couch, got his stuff and left. Psychopath. That's how I knew this man did not want to be with her. Also because they were not having a lot of sex. Romantic relations, aka romantic relations. Technically, in my opinion, none of y'all should be having romantic relations because y'all just met each other 2 weeks ago. So don't know why romantic relations need to be prioritized when the emotional connection, mental connection, compatibility, and chemistry needs to be prioritized first. And a lot of people say, oh my God, romantic, sex, we need to know what's inside the bed. Yes and no. We need to prioritize certain things first. It was quite clear. Steven and Monica were not on the same page on those 4 things I talked about. So I thought it was weird. He was giving psycho tendencies. He was giving freak. He was giving, get the hell out of my house. You know what I mean? Okay. Now let's move on. And I was really happy when that happened at Monica Stevens' place. I was really happy that Taylor and Garrett was there. Taylor and Garrett, favorite couple. They're giving the Hamiltons from season 1. I love them. I love them so much. They're grown. They know what they want. They're compatible. They have chemistry. They're always kissing. They're so cute. Cute little nerds. And they're so smart. Like, I love a smart, intelligent conversation about molecules and hydrogen and velocity and physics. Like, that's what I'm talking about. We don't get that. Instead of getting, yeah, I like that. Something different. And honestly, it reminds me of Dubai. It reminds me, which I'm watching right now, Love is Blind. Habibi. I love that show, which I'll talk about in the future recap. Nothing to say about Taylor and Garrett. I really do hope they get married. I really do think it's going to happen. And even if they don't get married, which is understandable with them, because I think they want their families to first get to know them. I think that's the big hurdle. Their families can get over the fact that they're doing this really quickly, which makes sense. They're really, really close with their family, which I admire and I commend, and I love it for them. But the fact that Taylor and Garrett was there for Monica, and Taylor was right. Garrett was such a man. It was so hot seeing Garrett taking care of if my man was helping take care of my friend. Hot. If you like it, put a ring on it. If you like it, put a ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. Nothing to say about my two babies. I love them. I love them. So Tyler and Ashley. Let me just say this. When I first saw Tyler and Ashley, and I've watched a lot of what they talked about in the pods. I really connected with Ashley because the way Ashley looks at relationships is how I look at relationships. I really connected with her. I'm watching the show with trying to not think about what's happening on social media and outside of the show, because outside of the show, Tyler has 3 kids. And I thought it was sperm donor. Okay. But apparently, no. No, they're her kids. They're his kids. He hasn't been given spouse support. He's the father. And you are the father. Okay. And so we're seeing this beautiful relationship mixed with spirituality and chemistry compatibility. They're not having sex, and they're prioritizing their compatibility, their chemistry, the emotional and mental connection that they're having, which I love, or I loved. And then Tyler drops a bomb saying that he gave sperm to this girl that he knows, and there are 2 girls and 1 boy. I'm like, oh my God. So on social media, it says 3 kids. And then on in the show, he said sperm donors. Oh my God. Let me just say, how are these, like, I always say this every single season. Do y'all forget y'all on national television? Like, I want to be really freaking for real. Can you imagine your kids growing up and see your father on screen, and your father called you the sperm donor? And Ashley is just trying to figure out how in the world you went through this entire experience, and now you're just dropping the fact that you gave away his sperm. If Ashley found out these are actually your kids, she would murder you. Her father would kill you. And Ashley's father didn't really grill Tyler. Other than that, I liked them or like them. I don't know how to even I don't know how to even talk about them anymore. And what's the point of watching this entire season? It's a shit show. I'm sorry. Like, the whole point of doing the show is because of the love. Where is it? I don't know where it is. It lacks. There's a shortage of love, and love is blind. It's like blind. It's just called blind, because I'm not seeing the love in this. I'm not seeing real men and real women who really want to get married, like, without the complications and the dramas, like, actually are single. I'm watching Dubai. Love is Blind Habibi, Dubai. Love is Blind US. Need to take notes from Love is Blind Dubai, because I'm tired. And I'm thinking, like, oh my God, the drama must be so good. No, I just want the show to be the show. And they're not giving us that. However, they want to make it juicy and spicy, want people to watch. That's why they put all this, they pick people that have all this drama and things like that. And I hate that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm really fed up, and I don't even know if I want to finish the rest of the season. I probably will. But what's the point? And yes, that's my thoughts. I hope you guys like it. Stay woke, stay healthy, and stay safe. And don't forget to comment your thoughts. Subscribe, hit that hype button down below, and turn in your notifications, because you never know when I'm going to post. A few times a week. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.